Okay, here we are at Chairboys Chat, episode 3. It's Monday, the 16th?
16th.
16th of November, and we've got 4 topics to look at today. We've got England and their terrific performance last night. We've got Liverpool's injury list that's getting bigger and bigger. We've got 2 sacked managers in the Championship, one from Sheffield Wednesday and one from Derby. And we can do our predictions for the Premier League. This should be entertaining, considering I don't think I've got one prediction right yet for Wickham, and I know them better than I know any team in the Premier League. So I won't have a hope. You might stand a chance, although you're so biased towards certain teams. I don't think you stand a hope. Okay. England. Oh dear, here we go again.
You always said it, didn't you? You always said it back when we did well in the World Cup. Back when we got to semi-final, you were like, "Oh yeah, but we've only beaten really crappy teams." And I was trying to be optimistic and be like, "Oh no, but like we've actually got to the semi-final. We actually did decent." But you kind of were right.
Yeah, we can only beat crappy teams, and even that does tend to be a little bit. So, mind you, Denmark had a problem winning against a crappy team yesterday. You see, the problem, I mean, they won 2-1, and I think it was Iceland that scored in the last minute or in extra time. So they didn't exactly walk through either. The problem England have is that we're not very good. Okay, it really is that simple. We do not have 11 decent players on the football pitch. I don't care what we say. They do not play together. I did think about asking you to pick your best 11 players in the Premier League rather than the England lineup. And the reason for that is pretty simple, and that is I wonder how many England players you could name in your top Premier League team. Okay. Now, would you name any England players? I mean, Maguire as captain?
Well, obviously not.
I'm amazed you didn't laugh. I have to be honest. I'm amazed you didn't laugh, because that is surely. I wouldn't want him captain of Wycombe Wanderers.
The problem is that if I'm actually going to answer that question, I'm going to be biased and say Trent. But then Trent's injured at the moment, so he obviously hasn't been playing. I think I can think of 3 names who I could potentially put in. It'd be Trent. Does Sterling get in? Best 11 in the Premier League? Don't know. Probably Mane and Salah are probably ahead of him.
Mane,
and then you have
I'm not
Mane, definitely. Really fair. Maybe Son might even get in ahead of Sterling at the moment. Son is playing amazingly, and then Kane. But does Kane get in ahead of, I don't know, Aguero and?
I would say yes if Son is on the pitch. Now, okay, then there's the big question. Well, can I just say about England right now is that we're not out yet, okay? But taking it for granted, we're going to beat Iceland and score a number of goals while Denmark lose to Belgium. I think England beating Iceland is going to be hard enough.
You think?
Denmark had problems yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, but Denmark aren't supposed to be good, are they?
And you think England are?
Well, you said about naming my best 11 for England. Our best 11, I don't think has probably ever played. So the team we played yesterday was absolutely.
Come on, this is what I was going to ask.
So Henderson in goal from, what is at United now, but was at Sheffield last season. We have, the problem is some of them are injured. You have Trent, Gomez, probably Keane from Everton, and Chilwell. Henderson, Maddison, and Grealish. Sterling, Kane, and Sancho. On paper, is that not a very good team? In my opinion, it's a very good team. But that team has never played. Our two centre-backs yesterday were Dyer and Mings, who are... It's beyond belief how they've got in the England squad at all, quite honestly. Like, they are that bad.
Oh, you think they're that bad?
What, you think they're good? They're good enough to play for England as centre-backs?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And what worries me is I think he gets into a habit of playing certain players and they just have their place and so they play. And he does get into a habit of doing that, as do most players. I mean, Pogba keeps getting in the French team. I mean, hardly is that based on how he's playing at the moment, is it? And I think that's the danger of the managers. They're scared. All these managers are scared, and therefore they put out the average best team, not the best team now. And until he took a risk in that World Cup because we hadn't seen that team before, and it worked really well. But next time, it has to be another risk and another best team at the moment. If you're playing well at the moment, put them in the team. If they're not playing well at the moment, don't put them in the team. And I think it really does come down to that. Take a risk. And that means if he's playing really well for Sheffield United, so he gets in the team. And you've also got to look at people like Bamford for Leeds. In all seriousness, he's whopping them in at the moment. I mean, he couldn't be happier. He couldn't be more sort of up the pole. Let's go for it. I'm going to score 3 a game. Put him in an England shirt and put him on that pitch today. Maybe in 3 months' time, he won't. But you've got the whole of English players to pick. You don't have to pick the same team. You can put him in one game only. But if he's knocking in 3 goals a game, put him in.
It's like Calvert-Lewin, isn't it, for Everton at the moment? He's knocking them in.
Exactly.
And he didn't start. He did score the other day, but it was only a penalty, and so it didn't really matter. But, yeah, there's players like that should really be getting in.
Yeah. Okay, if you disagree with Kieran, I'm sure you do, most people do, then put who you think shouldn't have been in that England team yesterday and should have. Part 2, Liverpool injuries. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We said at the last one about any team that gets a couple of injuries and any team, it has an effect. Well, Liverpool are going to be having an effect, aren't they? I mean, centre-backs, who you got left?
We have Matip and Fabinho. And Fabinho's only just come back for injury, as has Matip, to be fair. We have Reece Williams, who is about 12, and Nat Phillips, who was at Stuttgart last year.
Is this why you've dyed your hair red, Kieran, to get noticed?
Klopp might call me up soon, to be fair.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking. No, we don't have any players left. Although I did see something on Twitter the other day that suggested, like, if we get anywhere close to winning the league this year, it'll be an absolute miracle. We should have no chance of winning the league this year. So, like, who've got? So at the moment, we don't have our whole back 4. Robertson's out injured now as well. Henderson got injured last night. He got taken off at half-time. Thiago's only just coming back potentially. Oxlade-Chamberlain's been out the whole season. Salah's gone and got COVID. Apparently someone in the Brazil squad's got COVID, and so that means Firmino and Alisson might have it. Like, we don't have any players left. We genuinely don't. It's really bad. I don't know what Klopp's going to be able to do, because he's definitely the sort of person he likes to have a little complaint like he did before.
Does complain a bit. He does get
after the Man City match, he had a big complaint about player injuries and stuff.
He did.
And I'm sure he'll have another go once he has another press conference. He'll have another go at the FA and stuff.
About what?
I don't know.
I mean, he goes on and on about having five subs, doesn't he? Along with Manchester City, because they've got a damn sight more players than everybody else, mainly because it's all well and fine for City to pick 5 players to come on at half time, but try Sheffield United or any of those teams, or Fulham, or if down the Championship you go, and it would affect Wickham compared with, and it would affect all your sort of, your lower teams compared with, because it's all well and fine for City to have 3 brilliant 33 great sort of players, but other teams don't have it. And so that's tough on them. I'm afraid it's 3 subs and that's up yours. And can I just say, the conversation they have about too many games, they are putting the money in their pocket from Sky TV, and that is where they get their wages from, because they're playing those games. That is why they're playing those games. It's the teams that don't appear on TV playing those games who have a complaint, who aren't taking all the cash.
Yeah, but I don't for example, Klopp is not going to care about that sort of thing, is he? He would rather have a starting 11 than get all the money from TV sponsors. For example, I thought in the international breaks, England have only ever played 2 games. There's now 3. Now, why is there 3 games during an international break, which is the same length of time as it was before, but now they're just cramming in another game just a random friendly against, who did we play? The Republic of Ireland. Like, why did we play that? Like, no one cares. No one watched it. There's no need, apart from people who have Sky potentially.
People have Sky.
It wasn't. Lots of people have Sky, and whether they watched it, I don't know. For me, I have no inclination to watch England anymore because I just don't really care. But
can I just say, let's split it here, because I wasn't going to bring this subject up, but I am going to, and that is football on TV, and that is England on TV. I think it is wrong that the English matches are on Sky TV and not open for everybody to watch on the BBC.
Yeah.
Because, as far as I'm concerned, it's, if they want me to be interested in following the English team, I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Why should they charge me to? I mean, I just think that is so wrong. I mean, would the Queen on her coronation, you have to, if you're going to watch it, you have to pay Sky TV to watch it. As far as I'm concerned, English football should be on English TV. It shouldn't be you have to pay extra to watch England. If they want me to be half interested, well, in that case, make it possible for me to watch. And as far as I'm concerned, although we did pick an England team, I didn't watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to pay extra to watch it. No. Not that interested, I'm afraid. And if they want me to be interested, well, let me watch it.
Yeah. The only times I'll ever watch England is if it's at a major tournament. You can call us not very loyal fans or whatever, but quite honestly, why should we care if it's not in a major tournament? It's just like qualification rounds and friendlies and stuff. Why should we care?
Yeah, they let me watch England versus Ireland.
Yeah, they didn't even let you watch that.
Yeah,
you had to pay Sky to be able to watch that. It is absurd. There's no reason why.
No, you could watch that because it was a friendly. The one that I think people are going to have to pay is England versus Iceland. Oh, I'm sure the crowds will be out, won't they? Okay, end of that. So, Sorry, that's my moan for the day. Well, no,
Yeah,
one of my 5
one
moans
of them.
for the morning.
Mm.
Yeah. 2 sacked managers. We'll come on to that next. 2 sacked managers in the Championship. First of all, we had the Sheffield Wednesday. Thought that was a little bit cruel.
Didn't we mention that last week, though? That we
Yeah,
thought that he might get sacked pretty soon.
yeah, and then he did.
Yeah.
That was a bit cruel because as soon as they gave him the 6 points back, I think Sheffield Wednesday had a quick look. They were going to stick with him because it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference because they were probably going down and it was cheaper to keep hold of him because it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference. As soon as they were given the 6 points back, they thought, hello, we might be able to might stay up here if we had a decent enough manager. So they sacked him. And who did they employ?
Oh, who was it? It wasn't Pulis, was it?
It was Pulis.
Of course it was.
Yeah, I bet the Sheffield Wednesday fans are jumping for joy, aren't they?
Sorry, if you're the owner of Sheffield Wednesday and you've got Gary Monk who plays, like, they say decent football, like he tries to play pass out the back, etc., which is entertaining when it works. And you go for Pulis, which is thump it up, head it, score, or attempt to score. Do that for 90 minutes and see what happens.
Pulis.
They'll stay up now, though.
You think? His record isn't brilliant, you know. He hasn't got a brilliant record.
You don't think?
Ask a West Brom fan how good he is.
Well, yeah, we know he's just
He gets
boring,
sacked from most, he's what, 10, 11 teams? You've had Bournemouth. He was at Stoke twice. Stoke was about the only, this is a bit cruel, Stoke was about the only job that he actually did that was any good. He got Stoke places. He held them up. They moved up season after season. And then all of a sudden it crashed and out he went. But they did bring him back for a second period. But if you look at his record, if you look at how many games he played, how many games he wins, how many draws and how many loses, good luck, Sheffield Wednesday. I bet Derby fans are really grateful he's gone. It means that they won't get him. Because I don't think... I wouldn't want him as a manager of Wycombe Wanderers. I'd seriously consider my season ticket if Pulis was coming to Wycombe Wanderers. He's one of these managers that just does the rounds. I think there's very few teams left in the Championship that hasn't had Pulis, I don't know.
Is Pulis one of those? I thought he was at Stoke for a long time, wasn't he?
He was. Tony Pulis. Here, let's have a quick look. Teams managed: Bournemouth, Gillingham, Bristol City, Portsmouth, Stoke, Plymouth, Stoke, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh yeah, he's done a few then.
He's done a few, hasn't he? Yeah. So he gets around, doesn't he? And what happens is they get all their draws, the occasional win, and they move up the table a little bit. And they say, what a great job, he's got 14th this year. And then there's a crash.
They'll lose 20 in a row.
One of these, he then has 10 games without anything. And these teams that came 14th last year slowly go down. And I'm sure that any game on TV at all, any team that Pulis has managed at the time would be the last game on. Lack of excitement.
Imagine like if your team is on Sky, and you see it's the game versus Sheffield Wednesday, you'll just be like, oh,
yeah, that'll be the last one on the TV program at the moment. So that's now manager of Derby.
It's Rooney at the moment, isn't it?
Well, it will be, of course. They're gonna. I mean, that's what he's there for, isn't it? He's gonna take the reins from now until they pick. And what happened was they've been sat there and everybody's been waiting for the manager to go. Everybody's been waiting, sitting there waiting. And then as soon as they got the signed piece of paper of the new owners within hours of selling the club. The manager goes, and I'm sure it's got something to do with money there of who was going to be paying to get rid of him.
Really?
I think so. It was within hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And everybody was waiting for that signed document. As soon as that went through, it was off goes the manager. Okay. Now, so he's gone. In comes Rooney to sit on it for a while. Are they going to make the dreadful mistake of a Manchester United special?
Yeah.
And under Rooney, suddenly things go well. He gets the job, and then they find out it doesn't go well. Or they are, of course, going to be fairly well off now with the new buyers in there. They've got a lot of money, this company. They could hang out for somebody that's really worth, like Benitez. They could look at people like him around. And Benitez has managed a championship team before, didn't he?
Newcastle, wasn't it?
Newcastle. And with the money behind him, are they sat on the bottom of the championship? Would he consider it?
Well, it suggests here that he's the third most likely to become the new manager.
Is he third?
Would he do it?
Where's Cook
Derby.
there?
Cook is... I saw he was third on another one as well, but he's fifth on this one.
Right.
I'm not sure he would. I think Newcastle was a big enough club for him to stick around the Championship for. I don't think he'd be able to get Derby out of the Championship within 2 seasons, maybe, which is what he would definitely want, I think.
Yeah.
Unless he's up for a challenge, which, I mean, he went to Newcastle,
Isn't that why managers do the job, though? Isn't it? Why take over the
because they love the game.
Yeah. Unless you're a Manchester City manager, in which case you only want to be successful, and it's easy to buy your players.
It must be fun being Man City manager, mustn't it? Because you'd be like, I'll just have him from whoever.
You can only lose, can't you, being a City manager? But Derby. I mean, who have they got down as favourite then?
So Rooney is favourite.
Is he?
And then second on all of them actually is John Terry.
Do you know? I was just about to say, I reckon they could do the job together.
Really?
Yeah. At first, you're second in command. I reckon the two of them, you've got a defensive and an attacking player in there. You couldn't share it. One would have to be in charge, followed by the other one. And I would say John Terry should be in charge, with Rooney staying at Derby as a player, but helping on the shoulder of.
It's kind of a similar job he does to now, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
He's not fully a player. He is a player and something else, I think, at Derby. Yeah. I could see that, definitely. I mean, if you want to complete the set, Gerrard's down here as well. So you could have midfielder defending.
No, he wouldn't go there.
He wouldn't do it. Not now the Rangers are about 50 points in front.
I think they were a bit cruel to the guy. That was just gone, in the sense of Derby had been pretty successful under Lampard. And then in this guy goes and things go a bit downhill. But, of course, Lampard had all of his Chelsea players there. And when he left, so did the Chelsea players, who then became Chelsea. When they talked about all the youngsters coming in, he'd been playing them at Derby.
Yeah.
I mean, name a couple of the ones up front.
It was who did he have?
It was about 5 of them, wasn't it?
I'm not sure it was 5, but I remember 3 were Mount. Yeah. Tomori.
Yeah.
He had Wilson from Liverpool who was banging them in for him.
So it got, and this idea of, he's giving the youngsters a chance. They'd been playing for Derby under him. I mean, I thought that was, he'd already got them in the team. So they were hardly, we've taken them out of the academy. I mean, they were already best mates having a party. So I thought that's where the media don't tell you quite the full story. And then this guy gets left with Championship or below Championship players, while Lampard takes the decent ones off to Chelsea and gets a pat on the back saying, wow, look at all these youngsters we've never heard of. Well, actually, if you watch Championship football, you'd know their names pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, how long have we been running for, just out of interest?
No idea, it doesn't tell me.
Well, that's been 25 minutes. So do we give it a miss there, or are we going to do our predictions?
We can quickly do them.
Go on then. Predictions for the Premiership games this weekend are?
So you have to give me a minute to get the fixtures up.
Give you a minute. I can talk for a minute. Just to say while I'm waiting for Muppet with the red hair come up with that, I just want to say, if you've managed to get through this, John, I just want to say welcome to our show. I remember you always sort of talking about Wycombe Wanderers and the big Ipswich, and must be great supporting Ipswich, and there's little Wycombe. Well, sorry, I was just about to say big Wycombe, but that's probably not quite true. It'd be great to play in the same league, but Ipswich are going to have to come up. Go.
Peak on John. Right. So Newcastle playing Chelsea. Newcastle at home. I'm going to say 3-1 Chelsea. Something like that.
It's definitely going to be a Chelsea win, surely.
You would have thought.
You would have thought.
Aston Villa at home to Brighton. Maybe a 2-1 or something to Aston Villa. I'm a big fan of Grealish, so I'll go with him.
All right, and that's a draw. I think that's a draw. Yeah.
I hope it is, because Aston Villa is doing
I'm not going to
well
name the number of goals. I can't get the Wycombe scores right at all. So
no.
I'm just going to say win, draw, or go on then. I reckon that's a draw.
Tottenham, Man City.
Tottenham, Manchester City. Tottenham.
I'm going to say Tottenham. Yeah, I'll say 2-0 Tottenham.
Song and Kane.
Yeah. Man City didn't exactly get through Liverpool many times.
Whatever they like to call him. It's the one with the eyebrows. I think he always looks so sad, but he's just not good enough.
No. His record's actually very good, but if you actually watch it, then we don't think he's good enough. Man United's at home to West Brom.
Well, Man United's got to win that, haven't they?
You say that. Wouldn't we love to see West Brom win? I'll go West Brom 1-0.
No,
it would be fun. It would be funny.
Man United have got to win that.
You would have thought, but
otherwise that must be Ollie's job gone. Surely.
You can't lose at home to West Brom.
No. So just to say that if any West Brom fans watching, I do apologise, but you are pretty rubbish in this league. Right.
Fulham versus Everton. It's got to be Everton 3-0 or something.
Really?
Fulham are dead.
I think well, it's got to be Everton, but not quite 3-0.
Not quite 3.
No. I have a little soft spot for Fulham. I don't know why, but
I kind of liked them before, but they are not doing very well, are they? Sheffield United versus West Ham.
I like
Sheffield United haven't won a game yet. West Ham doing decent.
West Ham, hasn't it?
Yeah. Maybe a 2-0, 2-1 West Ham or something like that. This is a good one. Leeds versus Arsenal. That could be very good.
Leeds at home.
Yeah. I could see like a 3-3 draw, to be honest.
Depends which Arsenal turn up, doesn't it? I think Leeds are wild enough that they're gonna. I think it'd be something like 3-2 to Leeds or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it'll be a big scoring game.
Leeds win that one.
Liverpool Leicester.
Oh dear. Vardy against the children at the back. Oh dear. Well, apart from children, who else you got at the back? Grandad.
So our back four will be Robertson, hopefully. Matip, Fabinho, and Milner.
Yeah, Milner. I just put Milner in all 4 places at the back. I reckon he can do it
I'll
on
be
his own.
fine.
He can go in goal as well if needed. Milner versus who? Leicester. That's right. Yeah.
That wouldn't go very well, would it?
I'm afraid I'm going to.
You can give your prediction. Yeah.
I think Leicester will win that. Sorry, Kieran.
I'll say 2-1 Liverpool with a knock on wood.
Not because you're biased in any form.
No.
Okay.
Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Sounds like the worst game of the year, to be honest. 0-0.
Really? I think Crystal Palace will win that.
Palace might. Zaha might do something.
There's a couple of players in that Crystal Palace team that I like.
Eze played well the other day, didn't he?
Yeah.
Talking of which.
Yeah, he did.
And then Wolves versus Southampton. That could be good as well, actually.
Yeah, that's a
off the table clash.
Yeah, Southampton. I don't know actually. I'm
gonna say 2-2 because Wolves are at home.
Southampton.
Yeah.
It's no. Oh dear, I really don't know actually.
I can't see
it being a draw. Okay, Wolves. I'm going to go say Wolves.
Really? Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're about done. I'm going to press the stop button. I'm going to go through the time, look at how long we spent on whatever topic, write it below, as you don't really need that information. And we'll then talk again next Monday.
Lovely.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
And sometime we will be phoning somebody up to join us. In a couple of weeks, I reckon we do that. I've got a few people wanting to join us. Okay.
Lovely.
Right. Thanks a lot. Bye.